Good afternoon. I'm a teacher of English, Borasınbaeva Sania Atаевна. Today's lesson is about past tenses. We are going to discuss the differences between past simple and the past continuous tenses. Lesson objectives. To learn how to say about the past events in the context of last day activities, making affirmative, negative, and the question forms with regular verbs. To introduce students to the new material and fix the simple past tense in oral speech. To develop skills in the pronunciation of regular and irregular verbs. To develop skills of educational cooperation and the cognitive interest in the subject. Dear students, pay attention to the video, please.
Welcome to English Grammar Spot. This lesson is about the past simple and the past continuous. Look at these sentences. I watched the telly last night. I was watching the telly last night. The first sentence is in the past simple. The second sentence is in the past continuous. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to form a past simple and how to form a past continuous, and when to use a past simple and when to use a past continuous, and more important, the difference between the two. First, we're going to have a look at how to form both tenses. As you might know, in the English language, we have regular and irregular verbs, and this is important to remember when forming a past simple. To make a past simple, for the regular verbs, we use the base form of the verb and we add ed. For example, he worked late last night. The irregular verbs have their own unique past tense, so you need to study those carefully. I bought a new t-shirt yesterday. The infinitive form of the verb bought is to buy. For past continuous, we do not need to care about regular and irregular verbs, because all past continuous, whether they are irregular or regular verbs, are formed by using was or were, the past tense of the verb to be, the base form of the verb, and ing. For example, he was working last night. Or, I was buying a t-shirt when I saw her yesterday. Now let's have a look at how to use a past simple and how to use a past continuous and how to keep them apart. We use a past simple for activities that were finished in the past. We usually use a time frame. He worked late last night. Here, last night is what we consider a time frame. Or, I bought a new t-shirt yesterday. Here, yesterday is a time frame. A past continuous is used for activities started and finished in the past, but we want to emphasize duration, so we want to show the other person, the other listener or reader, that it lasted for quite some time. For example, he was working all night, so we want to emphasize that it lasted the entire night. We also use a past continuous for an ongoing action in the past interrupted by a sudden event. For example, I was buying a t-shirt when I ran into her. So I was doing something and then suddenly a friend came up to me. That's when I ran into her. Please note that for the interruption we use a past simple. So we often find a past continuous and a past simple in the same sentence, where the past continuous shows us that it was a continuing activity and the past simple shows us the interruption of that activity.
Okay, As we have watched on the video, we used the past simple when describe completed actions that occurred in the past. For example, we watched this film last Friday. I read a book yesterday. We use past continuous when describing long-term actions that occurred in a certain time in the past. For example, we were watching this film last Friday from 5 to 9. Yesterday at 5, I was reading a book. And what about the negative and the question forms of two tenses? To create a negative and a question sentence in the past simple, we use the auxiliary verb did plus the base form of the verb. For example, I didn't watch the news yesterday. Did you watch The Mask last Friday? The past continuous of any verb is composed of two parts. The past tense of the verb to be was, were, and the base form of the main verb plus ing. For example, I wasn't reading a book yesterday at 5. Were you reading a book from 5 to 9 last Friday? Dear students, I think the lesson was clear for you. Let's do some exercises. The first, expand the brackets by using the correct verbs in the past simple. You may start. Exercise number 2. Make up a question and a negative to the sentence. You have 2 minutes. Exercise number 3. Compose sentences in the past continuous tense. The last exercise, number 4. Choose the correct verb form, past simple or past continuous, to complete the sentences. I'll give you 2 minutes. Okay, students, in phase 2-4 feedback, you should say about today's lesson. How do you understand the lesson? Do you need any help? Do you enjoy the lesson? Do you like the lesson? And so on. I think from today's lesson you have taken more information. Write down your home task, please. Exercises from 10 to 17 on pages 85 till 88. The lesson is over. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.